stop. You are walking into your doom.
I don't know about walking into doom, but today we're going to walk into this project, and I'm going to show you how to take a inexpensive, simple plastic skull, add some eyes and some sounds to it, your own custom sounds, to make a really nice setting. So here we go. Hi, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the Maker's Cave, and we're going to continue with some Halloween builds today. And as you can see, I've got a bag of skulls. I picked this up at Home Depot. Let's open up and take a look at it and see what they're really like. All right, there's some just inexpensive plastic skulls. You know, the mouth moves. But they're kind of generic. So I'm going to show you how you can spruce up a skull really inexpensively and really cool. And how we're going to do that is by adding in, let me get them, some eyes. Okay, these are LED eyes. And as you can see, we're going to put one in here real quick. That really changes the skull to a creepy, doesn't it? All right, but what's unique about these eyes, and I'll put a link below to where you can get them. They come in several different colors. They come in red, blue, yellow, I think, and green. They'll be in a link below. But they're made for being put into skulls, and that's why I wanted to show them to you. They're pre-resisted, so you can use 5 volts with them. One flickers, okay, and one's a steady. The flickering is really pretty cool because it's just a static, LED eye. It's actually a flickering eye, and I'll show you how that works in a second. And what else? We just need to drill some holes into here, into the skull. And here's. Hold on. Here's what's neat, because obviously, in order to put these, we're going to drill out a hole for the eyes to go into. But the trick is, we're also going to have to cut a hole in the back of the skull, okay, where it won't be seen, and we can put it back in when we're done. But we have to put those eyes in there, and that's, even my little hands have trouble getting in there. So, what's neat about these eyes, first off, they have, instead of just normal old eyes you're going to put in there, they're actually made for this because they actually have a backer on here where the LED goes in here. And this is what's really, really cool is, see this little post right here? You can go to the dollar store or whatever, get some skewers for, like making shish kebabs, and you can put it in there. So now, back again. So now, from the hole in the back, you can actually place the eye exactly where you want it to be. We'll super glue it, and then skewer comes out. This is just terrific. It's the easiest way to place eyes inside any kind of prop. So I really like these. And again, I'll put a link below to where you can buy these. The dollar store. All right, so I guess the first thing we need to do is we just need to plain drill out the eyes. Yeah, we'll start with that first. And you can use an X-Acto knife. You can use any kind of cutting tool. If you use an X-Acto knife or a utility knife, please be careful. You don't want to cut yourself. But I think I am probably going to use, I'm just going to use a step drill. You can get these anywhere, Home Depot, Lowe's, Harbor Freight. And what I do is you want to make a hole that's smaller than the whole diameter of the eye, because you don't want the whole eye to go through. You only want part of it. And that's what I'm looking at right now. So what I'm looking at, so even at its most, all the eye is not going to come through. So we're going to give it a shot with this one first. We mess up, we always got an extra skull. By the way, 2 of them, I'm going to make one that blinks. I'm going to make one that's solid. And then there's a surprise at the end. I'm going to show you something else we're going to be doing with them to really liven up the skull. First, we need our drill. And we're just going to go in the center of the eye and drill. See the nice hole it's making? Now what I'm going to do real quick, I'm just going to place the eye in here. Okay, so not very, oops, sorry. We need to go a little bit more. So what we'll do is, brush the debris off of this, is I will go up to, I have a whole set of step drills here. And if you're into Halloween, this is definitely the kit you want to get. I'll put a link below to this too. I think that was on Amazon. Let's see, is this one a little bigger? So this is one, the max cutting or the max drill it'll do in here is all the way up here, which is, I think, I'm going to line this up again with the eye. Yeah, I think this is going to be it. Well, let's give her a shot. I think that's going to work. If we got to go a little bit bigger, we can tell later on when we put it in through the rear. So now I'm going to do the other eye. And again, I'm just going to clean the edge up here with an X-Acto knife. Okay, so now the only thing we have left to do is do some cranial surgery in the back here and open up a hole so we can get to it. Now, you can choose any way you want to get in there. I'm actually thinking, first thing I think I'm going to do is take this bit out. I know this is the size I want, so I'm going to put it aside so I don't have to look for it. Now, I got this big old one right here. I think what I'm going to... Hold on, I think I got a better idea for this.
A few moments later.
And what I was looking for was my hole saw kit, which eventually I found. Because what I figured we'll do is drill a nice big hole back here, and then you can get into the eyes. Again, I also have this tool here. It's a little tiny saw, hobby saw. Again, I'll put a link below. We could use that, and you could just saw and cut right through the plastic there. But I think we're going to use the hole saw. Now, normally with a hole saw, you have, you know, the arbor, the drill bit fits into there, and then, you know, the hole saw goes right there. But I don't want that in the circle that it's going to cut out here. I don't want another small inner hole from the drill bit. So I took this out because we're just dealing with some thin plastic, and we're just going to put the hole saw. And if you got a bigger one than this, that'd be fine, but I can't seem to find my real large one, so just put this nut back on here. Now, the reason I want to use a hole saw is if I use the normal drill, it would waste all the material in the skull. Okay, but by using this, it's going to give me a little disc that I can use to put back into the skull. And that's why I took the drill bit out. Now, you want to be real careful when you're drilling this, because without the drill bit, this thing can wander. So we're going to go really slow. I wouldn't recommend this kind of thing if you're working with wood or anything big, but cheap little skull like this, it's going to be perfect. Well, so I think. Now, you want to drill the hole as center as you can on here, so you can easily get to the eyes. Also wouldn't hurt if you kind of eyeballed where you wanted the hole to go, which I think is going to be right about there. You know what? Let me get Sharpie to mark it with. So right there to here to here to here to here. Little mark right there. So that's about where I want my hole to go. So we're going to start now. The trick is, again, because we don't have the drill bit in here, is you want to go real slow so it doesn't kick. So now we have this perfect piece that we can fit back in there when we're all done. Now, obviously, it doesn't fit perfect. You saw it fell through, but we'll use some white duct tape. It's a little off on the color, but close enough. And again, you're not going to see the back of the skull wherever you have this set up. You're going to see mostly the front. So, use that here. And, all this debris. It is messy. Now that we have that nice hole in the back, I'm going to take one of our eyes, okay, and our skewer. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So there it is. Now we can go right back into here. And now we can place that eye. Place that eye exactly where we want. And what we'll do is when we have that where we want it, we will use some super glue to put that in. I can't remember these are the blinking or the steady ones. I believe these are the blinking ones. They got a bit of a blue iris to them. So what we need now is all right. So I'm going to use some CA glue, super glue, whatever you want to call it. I also have here some zip kicker or a CA glue accelerant in a spray bottle. So what we'll do is after we put the super glue on the eye, we're going to hit it with this so it binds really quick. So we have to keep holding it. So let's go. I'm bending it so that the eye will be looking straight. And if we bend it too much and break it, who cares? The sticks are, from the dollar store. Okay, so that's about... Oh, there's where I want it. Wait a minute. I'm actually going to do it this way. For some reason, I lost my audio. So what I'm doing is I'm now putting the super glue around the rim of the eye from the outside. And then once I find it, I am going to put some zip kicker in there so it'll instantly grab it. Okay, this is a little smaller than some of the skulls. I don't know if you can see the one back over there. Right over there somewhere. Where's that? Oh, it's up over here. You can't see it. But it's a little bit bigger than this. So it's easier to hold on to and manipulate. So what I did is I went and got cheapy old vise from Harbor Freight. And I'm going to put it in the back of the hole here. I'm just going to clamp this skull. Now, the head's nice and solid. And I hope you can hear me because I forgot to put my mic on. Actually, I don't want it on because I need to stand up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, again, take our stick, take our eye, and put it in the back here. And now I can manipulate the eye without having to hold the skull. So it's a lot better. I'll take our super glue. Take our zip kicker. Just going to twist this little post to get it loose. And there, look how much different the skull looks. This is great. Put away the drill. Let's get the right. So here is the stock everyday skull. Get some of our tools and everything out of the way. Put the cap on the super glue so it doesn't dry. Oh, made a mess in a short amount of time. Look at that. Two completely different skulls. Wonderful. Now, the only thing I might do is I might weather the skull a little bit more. Oh, actually, this is I might I might weather the skull a little bit more. It's a little too clean up top here, but even as is, this is really cool. So now we have our leads back here. So let's hook these up, okay? And we can see the eyes blink. Now we have the wire stripped off. What we're going to do is twist the two negatives together, twist the two positives together. Now what we're going to use to get power to this is this USB power pigtail. Again, I'll put a link below. And obviously it has a USB at one end, and it has some power leads at the other for the 5 volts. And of course you can plug this into a power cell or portable one, battery operated, or you can just plug it into a USB brick like a charger for your phone, as long as it's 5 volts. And because we're only doing some eyes, it can be a low voltage, inexpensive USB brick too. You can use a 1 amp and that's plenty. So what we're going to use to connect that up, again I'll put a link below, are some simple screw and power connectors. You know, if you want to make this permanent and solder, you can, but because we're going to be doing some different things, I'm going to use this. So on this, this is the female jack right here, and it'd be hard for you to tell, but there's a plus and a minus. So we're going to take our positive, I'm going to put it right into here. Now that's in there. Now we'll do the same thing for the negative. I'll open this up a little more though. Okay, so now on this end, we just take our USB and we're going to do the same thing. Alright, so now what we'll do is plug this into one of our USB ports over here. Here's the connector, and here, make sure the polarities are correct first before I do it. Negative, positive, negative, positive. Here we go. This is the flickering one. Now I'm going to put my mic down for a second. Now, as you can see, the eyes are flickering. Let me see if I can zoom you in here. Now, look at that compared to that. Let's see if we can get a side by side for you. How much different does that look? What personality does that give the skeleton head? You know, you may have seen these in the store, and how much extra are they charging you? You know, to do this with just a few dollars worth of parts, you can do it yourself to any prop. This is good, even if it's not a skull. If you want to replace, you know, if you have a prop and like a witch, or you could replace those LEDs with these flickering ones, and so the prop would have a bit more of a life. You could even replace the eyes as well. You know, usually they just have those, you know, 2 dark circles and 2 simple through maybe 3mm LEDs in there for the eyes. You could add these eyes to a standard prop that would, whew. And I've got some prop modification videos coming, and that's one of the mods you do. You immediately do something like this, you give it more personality, more human looking eye. The prop really starts the prop pops. Now the other eyes, wherever they may be, the other ones, you know what, we'll hook these up too. We'll do the same thing again. We'll take this one. Whoop, I'm sorry. We'll take this one and we'll put these. These are solid lights. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing, and we'll be back through the magic of editing. So I'm just going to drill the holes out, drill the hole in the back like I did before, put the eyes in it, and we'll come back and see it.
20 minutes later.
Okay, we're back. I put this one. I put the solid green lights with eyes in this one. They're blowing the cameras out a little bit. I'll see what I can do in post. But as you can see, the green eyes are really cool. Gives them the effect. And you can get these in the green and flickering too. So there's a difference. The eyes flickering, the eyes solid. And this really takes, I said, like your skull to a new level. And like I said, again, you can put, a little bit of wiring. You can put these in your existing, props that you already have. Because like I said, the human eyes alone really make, just really make your prop come to life. I know it's a little unrealistic to have real eyes in the skeleton, but heck, so cool. And if you, even if you didn't, light up the eyes, and you just kept it like this with the right light shining up and highlighting, the eyes alone would be pretty cool if you didn't want to light them up. Maybe you can also add some more resistors or something if you wanted to dim the lights down even a little bit more, or maybe put a potentiometer on it to get that right brightness. But we're not done. Let me put the lights on and I'll be back. Just in case you want to see what it looked like with all the lights on or whatever, you can see because the flickering LEDs are always going to be a tad bit dimmer, simply because the flickering is a difference in voltage. So the solids are going to be nice and bright. Like I said, they're pre-resistor for 5 volts, and as you can see, this is really cool. I mean, even in daylight, well, not daylight, in the studio lightings, you can really see this color pop. And again, like I said, you can get them in all kinds of different colors. Got rid of the green guy, and he's going to watch what we're doing. And I kept the flickering red eye guy. Now, this is pretty cool just sitting here like this. You can put this on your shelf or a table that you have on one of your props. But let's add some dimension to it. And I was at Michael's last night, and voice is cracking. I was at Michael's last night, and they're having 40% off of all their Halloween stuff. And one of the things I found was this box. It's shaped like a book, and it says a haunted home is a happy home, which is always true. So look what we do here. We just lift this up, put them on here, and how apropos, there's a thunderstorm going on in the background, going on outside. Just think about this: a library scene for a haunt. This sitting next to it. If you have a fortune teller prop or theme set up, this blinking in the background is really cool. Now, the reason why I got this box is because we're going to step this up a notch. Just hold on one second. Before we move on any farther, I just wanted to let you know that if all the wiring you don't feel comfortable with, even though it's really easy, there's also a kit available with the 2 eyes, with the LED, whatever color you would want, with the handy installation stalk. Okay, and it's already pre-wired to a USB cable. There you go, plug and play. And I'm back. So this is why I wanted this book. Obviously, because it's a case in here. And I thought it would be really cool if, now that we got the lights blinking, why don't we add some sound to it? So I'm taking one of our sound cards here. And you've seen this before. It's motion activated. It plays the songs one after another on the off of the inboard memory. And it's got a speaker connector, and it's got a 3.5 millimeter jack out. And it's got an onboard 3-watt amplifier for a speaker. Now, this one is a variation. It's a special one. It's a new one we have. Normally, the yellow wire, the busy wire that comes off of here, is 3.3 volts. Well, this particular model, we have set it so it puts out 5 volts, which is great for powering some of the heavy-duty relays that need 5 volts to trip over. But it would be perfect to run the LEDs on the skull. So when the sounds play, the skull lights up and you've got sound. So we're going to put that into here. And there's this tiny little, you saw in the previous tiny little motion sensor. And what we're going to do is, I think, right in this grid part here. We won't be able to see it all that much. We're going to drill a 10 millimeter drill bit because this is 9.5 centimeters or millimeters. So I have a 10 millimeter drill, but that's also like 0.4 inches. So if you have like a 1/2 inch drill bit, that's close enough. So that's the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole into here. That is a tad bit messy. So now we have a hole, so we can open this up. It's a little sloppy on the inside here, but who cares? So take our soundboard, we're going to put it into here, and just push the motion sensor right into that hole. As you can see, there's the motion sensor. Now this is going to work real good because the motion sensor doesn't stick out. That means we're going to get some directional control over the sensing. So it'll only trigger when somebody's right in front of it. So far, pretty easy, right? This makes it really, really easy. So we have the power for the overall the whole system. Now the only thing we need to do is we need to take the sense wire, which is 5 volts. You don't want the red wire because the red wire is a constant 5 volts. We only want the 5 volts when the music's playing, and that's what that trigger wire, the yellow one, is for. And we need the ground. So what we'll do is we're going to take the skeleton, or the skull rather, and we're going to take the negative and positive of the LEDs we have for the eyes, and we're going to attach them to this. Take the motion sensor out so it's a little easier to work. Okay, so here's our eyes. And we've twisted the 2 positives together, we've twisted 2 negatives together. Now, when these ship, they don't ship stripped because you never know which ones you're going to need and you don't need, and you just don't want any bare leads hanging around. So we're going to strip some off of this trigger wire, which is 5 volts in this model, and of course the ground. We only need the one that has 2. One for the positive, one for the negative. So flip the little levers up on here. I know some of you are probably going, I know about these. Well, some people don't, so this is why we're going over it. Here is here's the positive for the LEDs from the skull. You just put them right in there, snap the lever down, and they're in there. Take the other one. We're going to take the negative of the LEDs coming from the skull, put that in there, snap that down. There you go. Now, how easy is this, huh? Now we take the negative coming from the relay, or I'm sorry, coming from the soundboard, which is the 5 volts. We're going to put that in this other hole. You have to make sure they go all the way in. There you go. It's in there. Now here's the ground, or the negative. There you go. So the skull is all wired up to the soundboard. Poof! We are just about done. Isn't this terrific? All right, so now we're going to open the box back up. We are going to put the sound. Oh, we got to do the sound yet, but give us a second. So now this has got to come through. Now you could drill a big hole in the back here, or you could notch this out so it sits in here. I think we're just going to, for demonstration purposes, we're just going to close this up. So now we have the sound cards in here. Here's the motion detector. We're going to put it back in the hole. So that's all set. Here's the wire that's going to the skull for the power. Here is the USB power. Now the only thing we have is a little connector, and that is going to be for the speaker. Again, I'll put a link below where you can get this. Is a little 5 watt speaker. It comes with the yellow leads, and we've used some of our, actually they are power connectors, but you can use them for anything. So that way you can easily just join this to this And we just put the JST connector, in case you were wondering what these little things were called. There you go, the sound's in there. Now, there's a couple different things we could do. Again, I could drill a hole in the side. This is a little taller than here, but I think we're just going to leave the speaker hanging off to the side right now, just to show you how it's done. We're going to take all this, put it in here. We're going to close the lid. So we have this, we had the skull, it's all wired up, we've got the soundboard in there, we have the sounds loaded. We have the speaker hanging off to the side. We have the motion sensor hidden away in here. Accessories really make it. So we're going to do some decorating to make this more Halloween-y. First, nothing says Halloween like a cat. I think this is a crow, but as far as I'm concerned, it's a raven. So we're going to put him there, or her. Michael's 40% off on both of these. This is some netting, came from Dollar Store. I wanted black, but they didn't have it, so I worked with what I had. To show you why I want this, and why I really wanted black, so... This part is not my specialty. This is usually where Katrina comes in and helps me. And I hope you can hear me. I forgot to put my light back on. I'm gonna leave this here, and we're gonna just put some of this. I'll just put him there. Like I said, I can't set a scene. I can build it, but I can't set it. So now we've got the mic back here, and we can hide it right there. Now, if it was black, you really wouldn't be able to see it, but then again, it will be at night. Now, what I'm going to do is turn the lights off. We're going to plug the skull in. We just put a little padding under that speaker so it doesn't vibrate so bad.
Where you end up is anyone's guess. Stop, you are walking into your doom.
I'm going to unplug him so he doesn't play while I'm talking. That's it. With a couple dollars, you took an inexpensive skull, which is a pack of 3. We put some LED lights in here. Like I said, you get the solid ones, you get the flickering ones. I think the flickering ones are really cool. A little bit of set decoration, which I was not the best at, but basically we did able to hide the speaker, and you heard everything. And this is a completely custom prop for you. I mean, the sounds are you. You could record your own voice and put them on here. I use the free audio program Audacity. That's the best thing you can use for managing, sound files and all. I'll put the link below. I think this is really cool. Now, Jet over here, I used to have a black cat that I really miss, and her name was Jet. She, big cat, well, round cat. The crow or raven, this is going to be an upcoming project. I've been dying to make an animatronic crow, but I wanted to do it easy. A lot of the kits out there are expensive, but this is a hollow body, prop. So what we're going to do is we're going to, maybe take them apart and put some servos, inexpensive servos in there, some simple Arduino code that I'll show you how to do, and we'll get him to work and talk. Probably using the very same board. This right here, like I said, this work right here. You could also use, if you wanted to, you go out to Michael's or a craft store or whatever and get yourself a balsa wood box, and you could stain that and distress it, and maybe do all that to it, and put this in here. Or you don't even need, the book. You could just put the skull down here resting on some of this and hide the speaker, and poke the motion sensor through here, and that would work. I love this build. So thanks for coming along with me on this. We got some other modifications coming. One of them is going to be some dollar store candles with the LEDs. I'm going to show you how you can make these a little bit brighter, because they would be really cool sitting here. We're going to do the same thing with again, I was at where was I at? Dollar store? The dollar, well, it's not the dollar store anymore. It's $1.25 store, plus they have more things. This, oh, it's broken. This thing was only $5, and it begs for some modifications. I'm thinking definitely a brighter candle in here, or a brighter light in the candle. And I'm thinking some wind sounds. You know, that's what I'm thinking. All right, so that'll be a modification we got coming along. We still have the Sinister Da. I also want to show you, we have a new timer that you guys can build that really controls these soundboards. It'll allow you to delay the activation and all kinds of neat stuff. So now I'm just dragging this video on. So anyway, I appreciate you watching all this. I hope this really gets you energized for the holidays. You know, Halloween's only like 6 weeks away. Not even that at this point. Probably 5 weeks away. So go out, have fun. Make something a little scary, and I'll be back at the next build. I'm Steve. Thanks for stopping by the Maker's Cave.